Morning everyone, welcome back to Barham Engines. This engine we got over there, and the one we got with the two heads there, and we had to modify the long studs. This is the crank bearings for it. We've had to get these from our friends at PJ Motorsport. They seem to keep a good stock of Cosworth bits if ever you need them. But we're just struggling at the minute on bearing sizes, and they seem to be the only guys that seem to stock all sizes, so thank you very much to them. So that's it now, got all the bits. Got Paul Dove in again today. He's over there just prepping the block, and the guy, because I said this engine is in an RS200 replica, he wants to replicate the block. I think he's seen some BDA engines in the past with the blue block. And he wants to replicate that. So the colour we've got is, apparently it's Vauxhall Regatta Blue. Not sure what that looks like yet until we paint it on, but as you can see, he's prepped this block good and proper. Got rid of all the old paint, and he's just etch primed it. So give it sort of, once he's had his cup of tea, get his first coat on there, be interested to see what that looks like. Right guys, I know periodically I do this, but I just want to thank you all so much for watching the channel, so much for all your comments. Thanks to all those subscribers, really makes a difference. And for me, it's become a bit of a dream come true really, because I get to show thousands of people every day what I do for a living. You know, this is my little baby. As you all may know, bought this 6 years ago off my boss, worked for him for about 15 years almost, and I've got to basically push it the way I want it to be, and it's working really well. And since you guys have started watching our channel, and we've got all these subscribers and subscribers, we've basically made us nationwide really. It's took off, and we're getting to do the lovely work that we've always wanted to do. So I just want to thank you for that, guys. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, because it does make the world of difference, and you guys get sort of notified every time we do a video. So thanks a lot, guys. But also, obviously, as I said to you before, I do read the comments, and I have noticed over the last few months, you guys have commented on the cleanliness of where the sort of finished parts are sitting and what have you. So we do take note of that, guys, and we've actually had something done for you. Check this out. And we've got Mark Heafield, our welder, to thank for this, because he's come in, he's measured it all up, he's had them made, and they're absolutely fantastic. So check this out, guys. There you go. What do you think about that? So we've got 3 stainless tops, absolutely beautiful. As you can see over there, this one's all clear. He's had the Barham engines cut into the back there. So the theory of the back is, because it's nice and solid, we're going to get some of those nice little tubs that hook over the back. We can put all the nuts and bolts in. Maybe we're going to go for a bit of classic Barham engines orange to go behind the lettering, so it stands out orange. But you can see here all the Cosworth bits cleaned on a nice clean bench, absolutely as it should be. So yeah, we can now work in cleanliness, guys. As I say, just want you to know that we do listen to you, and sometimes it needs a load of people like yourselves to comment, give us a bit of a kick up the arse to get things like this done. But yeah, really happy. And as I say, in time, guys, we're just going to do more and more things like this, and hopefully it ends up at a sort of different workshop. But yeah, thanks ever so much, guys, really pleased with that. You can see Paul Dove prepped all this 200 block yesterday, really nice. We've got all the pistons in now. They're running a nice 12th thou protrusion as we normally have them. You can see the Victorized WRC head gasket is sitting on there nicely, and we're just going to assemble the head and plonk that on. But yeah, cracking on with this. Well, I've been pretty busy today, guys. I'm on the mill today. I've got about 3 hours on here. What you can see on the mill at the moment, as you can see, I'm sort of just over halfway through on this crankcase half, but this is an old Volkswagen flat 4 engine, or half a crankcase. And what we're doing is we're going from 1600 to 2 litre, and what you have to do is you've got the 2 litre liners down here, and they are on the external of the bore, top and bottom. They are 6mm bigger than the 1600 ones. So what we've got to do is obviously bore out the crankcases 6mm, and same on the cylinder heads. it's the setup on this really. You've got 112 millimeters between centres on the two, so you've got to make sure that's right, obviously, else the heads are not going to line up. Once the barrels are in the block, the heads are not going to line up to go on. So what I normally do is give them about 2 or 3 thou clearance, so they sort of slide in there nice, but not too nice as fit, because obviously it's aluminium with steel. So I give them about 3 thou, same on the heads, but it's all got to go together nicely. So it is critical that you get that 112 mil between centres correct. So just doing this one half, got the other half to go. As you can see, if you go by the outer studs here, you see the meat left in there on the 16. You have a look at the meat left there on the 2 litre. So I've took quite a bit out. You can see down the bottom actually where that step is. There's loads of meat come out. So yeah, that's my job for today, guys. Nice little mod really on something like this. If only it was easy to go sort of 400 cc's bigger on everything else, but quite a good mod. So I'm on my last 4 here, the crankcase halves. I've still got the cylinder heads to do. This cut here is going to leave me about 1 millimetre in the bore to take out, and then what I normally do is just do a final cut of about 4 thou, 0.1 of a mil, and that gives me a decent finish then. Quite a long laborious job this actually, believe it or not. Right guys, while we're on the subject of boring, I've had a few comments actually from some of you viewers asking how we set the tool in for the boring bar. So I may as well, as I say, while we're on the subject, I may as well just explain a little bit as to how we do that. So what we've got here is, they call this a preset tool. So you've got the cutting tip in the end this side, and you've got like a spring-loaded bar in the end there, which obviously does your measurement. So basically what you do, you've got a preset tool gauge here. You see with measurements here, this is in imperial. So what we do, say for instance, we want to set the bore to, or cut the bore to say 3.5 inches. What we do, we put the tool in here, we put the tip up towards the front. Okay, this is all adjustable, but it's calibrated to how I want it. So this is how I do it. We make sure there's a nice metallic sound there, make sure all the swarf's gone, and it sits right up against the back there. The flat goes down to the bottom. So what we do is we undo the lock grub screw, and then just basically touch it on and just back it off very, very slightly, just so it's spring loaded like that. Then what we do, usually using 2 hands, but obviously I've got my camera, we wind it up to 3.5. So it's on the 0. And the way I've got this calibrated and set, that if you set it dead on the size, it's going to leave 3 thou in the bore. So if I set it on that, that's going to leave 3 thou under 3.5 inch. So what I normally do is set it up 2 thou over what you want it to end up at, because when you nip this grub screw up, you find that that closes up about 1 thou. So if I nip that now, you find that if you just turn that and touch it on, you see that's set 1 thou over the 3.5 inch, and that is going to cut now and leave 2 thou in the bore. Okay, so yeah, that's the way I've got it calibrated. It's just the way I've always had it. Don't ask me why, because sometimes I like to leave, the reason I do that is because when I'm doing liners and I like to leave a 3 thou interference, I know if I set it on size, it's going to leave that 3 thou in. So that's the reason I do it, really, mainly for liners. But when I'm just doing a straight bore, I only want to leave a couple of thou in to hone out. You don't want to leave too much in. So yeah, we just do that, set it 1 thou over, and that is how we preset the tool. Right guys, some really good news. The Golf GTI that we've got the engine in bits here for, we've got the go-ahead by the customer. So we've ordered the engine. We should get the engine Monday morning. I'm going to run that straight over to Clover Cars. yeah, we had a good chat with him. We said, look, it swings and roundabouts on the money side of it, whether you do it or don't do it. It's a really nice car. It's done low miles. You're going to have a brand new Volkswagen engine. All the bits we quoted him for were a worst case scenario, really. Most of the bits are sort of genuine. The only thing that isn't genuine is the turbo, but we're going to send the turbo to Vince at Performance Turbos. He's going to go through that. So that's going to be all genuine bits anyway, but probably, you know, not quite the money. But yeah, so we've quoted him for everything and he's gone for it. He said, to be honest with you, it's a lovely car. Although it's a bit of an inconvenience, all this cost, I think he's going to keep the car. So basically, it's an engine from Volkswagen, but I didn't realise until I ordered it yesterday that it is an exchange engine. So they're going to want this back. So you see the state it's in at the minute. So I'm going to have to get Isaac when he's back to... He hasn't been in, he's still not very well today, but he's got to just throw this thing back together. This has got to go back as a sort of basic tall engine, but we haven't really got to talk anything up, just got to go back. Gets it out of our way anyway. So yeah, got the go ahead with that, guys. Great news. I'm glad for him. It would have been a shame to sort of get rid of the car as it was, because it's a lovely car. So yeah, hopefully sometime next week we can sort of, Tim will have that mostly on its way. But yeah, we have to wait and see on that. Also, quick update on the van, the Msrt. Really looking forward to getting that. Quite surprised by a lot of your comments, actually. I was half expecting probably more negative comments than positive. Some of you guys I'd expect to say, it's a bit sort of overkill for a work van. Don't know why you want to go for a body kitted van and all the rest of it. But no, probably 90% of them were real positive. So really glad to hear that, actually. A lot of you like the colour. And the colour choice is borderline sort of a bit obscene, I suppose, but it's a bit of me. I love orange, like you say. Kit cars here, matches that. And also the Lambo. So yeah, really looking forward to getting that. Tour have got it in the workshop now. They're just doing a few little bits. They're still waiting for the tow bar. So it could be any day now. Get the phone call, we can go and pick it up. Well pleased with that. First thing I'm going to do is a bit of a review. Although I'm not a car reviewer, I think we ought to go and do a little review on that. As I say, I've been running around in the old Citroen now for 6 years, or more than that when I was employed here, but we've sort of held back on buying a van. We've understood that we've got to get on our feet, things to prioritise than a new van. So I've been having to deal with that. So yeah, really, really excited about that, guys, and can't wait to show you it. Just thanks again to John Burnell at Tor, top man, keeping me informed and what have you, and dealing with my questions over email. He doesn't seem to have got peed off with me yet. So yeah, thanks a lot, John. Keep you updated on that, guys. But until then, have a lovely weekend. Sun's out at the moment. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and I will see you next week. Cheers, guys.